What's up, you beautiful collectors and action figure fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. If you're an old subscriber, thanks for coming back. If you're a new one, welcome. Before you leave, make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell notification so that you get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Siege Deluxe Class Mirage. For the package, much like all these Transformers Siege figures, you got that nice Transformer text with the Generation logo, but you get this extra little blurb right here that says that this was fan voted, which I'll get into in a little bit. Then you got this nice open window that fully showcases the figure as well as all of his accessories. The side here has an image of Mirage running through a battlefield with a very angry face. The other side here has that very familiar image of the Ark taken off from Cybertron, with other Autobots and Decepticons battling in the background. Come around to the back of the package, and you can see images of him in his robot as well as his vehicle form that he transforms in 19 steps. And of course, much like all these figures, you can use this with the Battle Masters, obviously to further armor him up, just make him really kind of badass. But for the packaging on this, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the new Transformers Siege Mirage opened up out of his packaging and obviously in his vehicle mode. And like 2/3 of his vehicle mode is cool looking. Starting off first with his accessories, you can see he comes with two of them. He's got this really nice handgun, and then you can use this as a handgun as well, but primarily you're more than likely going to use this as a shoulder cannon because that's what it looks like. You can plug it into his giant spoiler, which I'll get to here in a second. So weapon storage in vehicle mode is possible, but that looks pretty goofy, I guess. Now, like I said, about 2/3 of this is pretty good. Maybe a little bit more than 2/3. This whole section here is cool looking. I love the way it looks. It's got that very kind of race car vibe with the tires here kind of sticking out. You got the big giant fin thing right here. His body is done primarily in this clear blue plastic, which is cool. I know we are getting an exclusive Amazon version that's going to be all this clear blue to make him look like he's using his special ability of kind of disappearing and reappearing, I guess. So the translucence is supposed to be him being invisible or something. I don't know. But like I said, this front bit here looks pretty good. You got some Cybertronian written there along the side. But where it gets kind of ugly is the back of him. Now, this is going to become his chest in robot mode. That, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of how that looks, honestly. And I always wonder why or what they're going to hide when they show images like this on pictures and they don't ever show stuff like that. So I'm like, what are they not showing when they don't do full pictures? It's this. That's just not really good looking, I don't think. Plus, the spoiler is ridiculously huge. I mean, that thing is massive, and I can't get it to be completely straight. You see, like that, and I'm squeezing really hard. That is the way it should be, but it just spreads. I also don't particularly like how, if this is supposed to be his chest, these have a nice silver paint on them. These are supposed to replicate these. It would have been nice if some silver paint was put on there, or well, I mean, that looks good. I mean, I was going to say, or you could just make this gray plastic, but it would look better if that was silver, especially since you got like some silver up here. You got nice silver rims, you got some little silver bits there. It would have looked better if you put some silver up on that. Just personal preference. I love the Autobot logo right there. That looks really nice, but again, you got that there. So when you look at it, you got a lot of Autobot logos showing on them. In general, I like the vehicle mode. He rolls fairly decently. But like I said, like 80% of it is a good looking car, I guess. Now I know these are supposed to be Cybertronian vehicle modes. And it, you know, really doesn't look like it all that much. I mean, it does a good job of looking like Mirage's actual vehicle mode, but I guess his back section is supposed to be the alien look. Now, for comparison to the most recent Mirage figure we got, this is from the Combiner Wars set. I kind of like the vehicle mode on this a little bit more than this, but you can see there is a big size difference here. Definitely much smaller in terms of a vehicle, but I just think that the overall look of this is a little bit cooler. I do like the blue on this a little bit more, but this definitely does have that same robot mode sort of cartoon accuracy like this guy actually does. First transformation, it's actually fairly simple. First, I'm going to separate this, pull these out, and bring those out to the side just like so. Come around here to the underside so you can kind of see what's going on. Take these tires, you're going to rotate these down and around, and then bring this section. This is a little bit tricky. You kind of have to get this over there. So just bring that over like that, and then bring that down, kind of pushing that in place. Go ahead and rotate there, and then take this section and rotate that around, creating this foot. Make sure that that's pushed up as far as you can. So we can do that on this side, rotate this down and around, bring this over and down, give that a nice little push, kind of locking that into place, rotate them here, and then fold this piece down like that, and make sure that's nicely secured like so. And come around here, you can bring this down, collect that into place, come around here to the back section. Oh, well, before you do that, I'm sorry, take the head, rotate that up, take these tires, spin these into the intersection of the chest, and then you can bring that down like so. That nicely fills in that back area. Come around here, split this, bring that all the way around. That will lock his shoulders into place, and then bring the arms down. Reach in here, pull out his hands, and that's it. Pretty, like I said, pretty simple. But when you're done, there you have Mirage in his robot mode. And in robot mode here, this guy looks terrific. Obviously, like I said, you can use the weapons in a couple different configurations. This I obviously put as his shoulder cannon because that's what he had in the cartoon. You could also use it as a regular gun, and you can have them dual wielding guns, but let's be honest, that's the cool look for him. You can also remove this upper section, so if you didn't want to have that, you can detach that and have a little, well, you can drop it, a little more along the lines of a handgun type of thing, although that looks a little bit weird. I think personally it looks much cooler leaving that up there, but everything on this guy in robot mode does a terrific job of homaging how he actually looks. All the way down from having these panels on the side, which in the cartoon they were more flat. They didn't really flare out a lot, but the G1 toy, you could kind of move them out a little bit just to create some gap right there. And I love how they kind of replicated that here. The chest here looks terrific. Granted, it's a faux chest. It's made up of a completely fake part that hangs out in the back of his vehicle that looks kind of ugly, but in robot mode it looks great. You get a couple extra paint details up here, again very reminiscent of the original look. The white, the blue, all of it looks really very, very cool. The head sculpt on there is fantastic. Definitely has that Mirage vibe with the little vents along the side. Nice silver for the face. A little bit of a blue paint there in the eye area. Everything on here, though, really does come together very nicely. I like how this back section collapses and fills in. This back here gets a little bit ugly with the way that those look. But it's not really all that bad, honestly. That's probably just a nitpick on my part. For a comparison, let's get that going. This is that previous Combiner Wars Mirage that I brought in just a minute ago. You can see height-wise, he is a little bit taller. It is definitely a more even height than what we had in terms of the size here than what we got with the vehicle. This is not nearly as bad as it was there. But this one, I mean, was still really nice. It just, when you look at that, it really does kind of bring into kind of contrast how this was acceptable just a couple years ago. I mean, the neck looks weird. I mean, the color, this looks much better. This wasn't a bad figure or anything, but this one definitely is replacing him in my collection. First articulation, the head is on a ball joint, it feels like, but you don't get a really big range of motion going up and down. You get a little bit of up and down, but not a lot. You can get him looking left and right. Shoulders here are on what look like just a swivel and hinge joint. So you got a hinge right here, and then you got a swivel. So it's not a ball joint or anything, but you still get all the articulation there. Rotates at the upper part of the bicep. You can see this piece obviously can move out to facilitate more of that range of motion. You got a hinge here at the elbow. I guess you could kind of say that the wrists articulate in as just part of the transformation. His waist does move all the way around, which is nice. Hips, those look like universal joints. So forward and back, in and out. He does rotate at the upper part of the thigh. Bends at the knee very nicely, and then he does have the ankle tilt in there, which is great. I mean, you can get that. Let's see, is that about? No, you can go all the way out, so you can get full on Crouching Tiger, Hidden Mirage sort of thing. See what I did right there? Hidden Mirage, because you know he's a Mirage. Whatever. Okay. Sometimes the jokes work, people. Sometimes they don't. Overall, though, I love the way that this guy looks. This is a great figure. They are doing the more Earth style vehicles with the upcoming Earth mode. The new part of the War for Cybertron trilogy, and I feel like this is a nice way to kind of ease into that. He has a little bit more of that Earth mode sort of alt form, which, you know, it starts to ease in to what they're going to be doing with that. Now, as I said, this was a fan-voted figure. It's on the package. Same thing with Impactor. These guys won that fan vote, and now we're finally getting the figures. The vote was last year, so it's obviously taken a little while. But what's interesting is that I feel like that fan voting thing is completely, utterly pointless, because we knew that this figure and Impactor won that fan vote. What didn't win was Spinister, which we now have confirmation we're getting that figure. Also, Wheeljack was up for the running, and that one didn't win as well, but we are getting that figure. So I feel like that fan voting, all it does is, which one do you want to get first? And I kind of feel like that's a little bit of a kind of cheat, I guess. I mean, either way, it's great that we're getting all the figures. I just think it kind of is silly that they're promoting it like that, but whatever. Now, to transform him back, we're going to take the guns off like that. Take his hands, tuck these up and under, and then you bring these up like that, or something like that. There we go. No, like that, and then bring that around, and then these are going to tab together right like so. Take this entire section, lift this up, rotate these wheels out to the side. You'll feel a soft tab locking it in place, and then rotate the, even you got the back of the head has this nice sculpted detail. That's amazing. Tuck that down like so. Come down here to the legs, then you want to rotate these out, and then move these off to the side like so. And then hinge this. This part does get a little bit tricky and a little bit cluttered here. And there you go. Just pull that up like that. You can tuck this up and then bring this up and straighten that. Rotate that out. And then bring that over like so. So again, do that on this side. I know that was a little bit discombobulated. So get that. Bring this up, tuck this up along the side. You can rotate this piece out, bring this up and over the lower section. There we are. And then keep that out of the way, and then bring these two halves together, tab these together, give that a good squeeze, make sure that's all lined up nice and proper like. And now this part gets a little bit weird because you got these little tabs right here that lock in to these bits, and that's what I kind of feel like pushes this apart, because I mean, as it is, I mean, well, it doesn't really stay very well, but I can't really get those lined up properly, so It doesn't feel like it really does too much, but you got this piece right here that locks in here. That's primarily the point of attachment, but you have to have everything kind of shifted up here and locked down, and then messes all this up here. But yeah, push that down. But I don't feel like those pieces are slotting in, but that's locked down and still rolls, so I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it's probably pushing this, and that's more than likely what's causing that as an issue. But either way, there you have them in his vehicle mode. Give that a good squeeze. Then again, if you want to, you can put these up here on the spoiler. Either way, that kind of looks dumb, but you know, whatever. But there you have him, and again, honestly, I think he looks terrific, but mostly in his vehicle mode or robot mode. It's not that the vehicle mode is bad. I just feel like I said, this back bit right here is kind of ugly. It's not terrible or anything, but it's definitely the weakest part of the toy. Transformation, while yes, fairly simple to do, it actually does some pretty interesting things. The way that the legs shift up and then the arms come together, I even like how this rotates in and then closes in that gap really nicely. It's a really good transformation, despite the fact that it's easy. But that robot mode is where it's at. That thing looks incredible. The coloring, the head sculpt, the chest, even those little side bits that are on the sides of his arms just look amazing. He is without a doubt a worthy addition to your Transformer shelf, and easily is capable of replacing any other Mirage figures that you might have in terms of a classics display. So, all that being said, if Mirage here's a figure that you would like to add to your collection, he is hitting various retail locations right now. So if you're looking for him, good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, there's places online such as Big Bad Toy Store. For that, I'll put a link down in the video description where you'll go to BBTS and you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Remember, if you like this video, I would really appreciate your support, guys, simply by hitting that thumbs up button. That one very small gesture really does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. I'd also like to send a huge thank you if you made it all the way to the end of this review. Another way that you can really help support my channel is making sure that you watch a video all the way through. And if you did that, thank you. Also, I want to send a huge shout out to all of my patrons, who through their continued support, now more than ever, help to make reviews like this possible. And if you'd like information on how you can help support my channel by becoming a patron, as well as being eligible for giveaways such as this, feel free to check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/optibotimus. And finally, remember, grow wise, grow strong, but never grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.